I stood on the shore, watching the lake drain as Karen's foundation started to crack. So much for fix your little bridge. It was supposed to be a normal Saturday morning. Coffee in hand, ducks on the water, a few loose boards on my lake bridge I was planning to reinforce later. That bridge had stood for 5 years, built by my own hands, leading from my backyard to a small island where I hosted the occasional barbecue or just escaped the noise of life. But peace shattered with the sound of clacking heels and the unmistakable voice of hell in a lavender jacket. Karen, president of the HOA.
This bridge is a violation of HOA standards.
Karen, the bridge is on my land. You don't own the view.
The lake is a shared visual asset. Your little DIY project ruins the harmony of our community design. Either you fix it, paint it natural cedar, or the HOA will take action.
They took action. 3 days later, I came home from work to find a demolition crew on my property. Chainsaws, hammers, loud music. My bridge was gone, reduced to splinters. And Karen? She was on the shoreline with her phone out, filming the whole thing like some HOA influencer, sipping her iced latte like this was reality television. I was furious. That bridge wasn't just wood and screws. It was my time, my craftsmanship, my peace. I filed a police report. Nothing. The HOA claimed they were within their rights to preserve community standards. I took them to court. They responded with a swarm of lawyers, all paid for with our HOA fees. Then came the fines.
Non-regulation fence color. Improper mailbox design. Yard lighting too bright.
I realized something. This wasn't about the bridge. This was Karen making an example of me. But she had no idea who she was messing with. You see, I'm a hydrologist. When I bought this property, I did extensive research on the lake. It's man-made, created in the 80s, fed by 3 underground sources, and regulated by a pump and drainage system long forgotten by the HOA. But I hadn't forgotten. And more importantly, the primary outflow valve, it was on my land. They didn't know that, but I did. So I opened it, not all the way, just a little, at night. The water began to drop subtly, slowly. Within 3 days, it was down by 8 inches. Nothing obvious, but enough to make the shoreline look off. By day 4, residents were panicking. Docks sat awkwardly above the water. Boats scraped the mud, and the HOA called an emergency meeting. I was there, quietly sipping coffee in the back, watching Karen flail her arms again while experts blamed climate change. That night, I opened the valve all the way. The next morning, the lake had dropped a full 3 feet, and it didn't stop. By the end of the week, the once pristine lake was a muddy crater. Fish gasped in shallow pools. Docks stood over dry earth. Then came the real damage. You see, those $5 million lakefront mansions, they were built assuming the lake would always cushion the soil. Without water pressure, the clay beneath began to shrink and shift. Foundations cracked. Pools emptied and popped. One guy's wine cellar flooded from the wrong direction. Karen's prized backyard patio started sinking. Support beams cracked. Her deck warped like soft cardboard. She came storming onto my property, red-faced and shaking, waving documents in my face.
You did this. You drained the lake. You're destroying our homes.
Karen, I said, as I leaned on my newly rebuilt bridge, complete with steel railing and LED lighting. You destroyed my bridge. I figured I'd return the favor. She threatened to sue. She threatened to get the police involved. She threatened the news. I smiled, because I had everything on record. Her HOA letters, video of the unauthorized demolition crew on my land, eyewitnesses, and proof that the drainage system was fully legal and under my jurisdiction. We went back to court. This time, it was different. Not only did the judge rule in my favor, but the HOA was ordered to pay me over $150,000 in damages and legal fees. Even better, the court determined that the HOA had violated property rights and exceeded their authority. Karen was removed as HOA president. Her smug little empire? Gone.